Good evening. We are here finally. FYI After Dark. I want to first welcome our platform. We're on Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I'm here, Yolanda Hinton, the host, with our co-host, Edward Everett, aka Mr. E. Mr. E, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What a busy day it has been. Bogged down in meetings after meetings after meetings after meetings. So I'm so glad to be free at last. Free at last. I am just excited to be free at last.
Absolutely. We're so glad to be here. We have a very special guest, and we're going to introduce her in a minute. But I want to just remind you all of FYI Morning Show Live. We're on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. We would love for you all to join us. You can be a special guest, host, or intern. Mr. E will give you that information a little bit later. And on that platform, we are live radio. We're on 95.3 FM. We're on WGPL 1350 AM, WPCE 1400 AM, and then we're on a new station, Mr. E. What's that?
That's WMVA FM 88.9 FM, one of our brand new babies that we just put on the market. That's located in the Accomack County, from Accomack County all the way to Washington, to Richmond, to you name it, Saluda, the whole 9 yards, up in Matthews County, Deltaville, Bino. We're down there. We're running all the way from. It's a 50,000 watt FM radio station that you can hear us all over, all from Cape Charles all the way to the 757.
So along with being on live radio, we're also on the World Wide Web, and we're also on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, LinkedIn, and YouTube, 9:30 Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And please join us.
That's right.
So, Mr. E, FYI After Dark, we are so excited because we had this young lady on our morning show. You know, we had a lot of feedback and great questions as a result of her being on. We have immigration attorney Elena Kilpatrick. I want to welcome her to FYI After Dark live platform. How are you, Elena?
Good evening from the Atlanta airport. How is everyone today?
I am doing fine. Did you say Atlanta airport?
Yes, I am currently in transit, so I apologize for any busy airport background noise. I will try to keep that to a minimum. I tried to hide as much as I could, but one can only hide so much in the Atlanta airport.
Well, you sound great. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to ask a few questions that we had on our morning show, but we have a few questions from our audience that we're going to add to it. First of all, let's talk about who you are and the fact that you are a immigration lawyer. Tell us where you're from and how you landed in that place to work with some great people.
Turn your mic on.
You know, I tapped it, but it just didn't register my tap. See, it should be all mental. But anyway, I'm going to try that again.
We got you.
So I am from Richmond, Virginia. I went to school in Washington, D.C. at Howard University School of Law. And then after I graduated from there, I went out west for about a decade. And then in 2016, I returned home to Virginia to work in my community. And at that point in time, we were suffering from a humanitarian crisis, and we still are, with regard to the needs of refugees and immigrants and asylum seekers. So I started switching my area of law from what I was doing, which was indigent defense, to immigrant defense. And I got full into it. I took as many classes as I could, tried to learn as much as I could, as quickly as I could, and just went into it and dove in a cold pool of water.
Yes. Elena, what made you interested in immigration law though, and working with immigrants?
I think first it was just as a public defender, seeing, hearing the stories of people and hearing the sacrifices they had made and what they had done and what they were running from. So when I was a public defender, that started to make me aware of the situation. And then in 2016, things just got a lot more dire with regard to immigration, and it just keeps getting worse instead of better.
See, and that was one of my questions. How come it doesn't seem to be getting any better? We've been hearing about immigration. It all sometimes seems like scrambled eggs. It doesn't seem to be getting better. It seems like it's still so much confusion around the topic. So many people are divided. Tell us why.
Well, no matter what side you're on, whether you are pro-immigrant or not so pro-immigrant, everyone does agree on one thing. And what everyone agrees on is that the system is broken, it's messed up, it doesn't do anybody any good. So at least that's one thing everyone can agree on and everyone can unite on, is that something has to be done to fix it. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been gotten any better, because it's like we're running into a battlefield where people are wounded, direly wounded, but all we got is a box of Band-Aids. That's kind of what it's been like, is we've been trying to put a Band-Aid, a tiny itsy bitsy Band-Aid, not even like a waterproof Band-Aid,
Yes.
like on a big open gate, on a big opened wound to our global conscience.
Yes.
And that's not going to work. So until we all decide to actually do something to actively fix it instead of complain about it, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
Yes. Do you feel like people care? I mean, most people, I know a lot of people are interested, but do you feel like it's something that people want to talk about, or just a few people want to talk about? Do they care? I know we look at the news stories and then we go about our lives. Do you feel like people have a deep concern about the immigrants and their plight?
Well, you guys care because you're asking about it. So that gives me a
Yes.
huge amount of hope.
Yes.
That gives me enormous hope, because people like you are coming into this space and going, what's all this about? What's happening here? Why should we be interested in what's happening here? So that gives me enormous hope. And the more you care, then the more your listeners will care, and the more your listeners know who know people, they'll start to care. So I have a lot of hope that a lot more people are going to become very interested in this. I feel like any person who has an ounce of humanity, anyone who grew up, I mean, no matter what tradition you come from, but particularly Judeo-Christian faith has such, our Christian roots have such teachings about immigration and migration. It's all over the Old Testament. The whole concept of welcoming the stranger, right? So I feel like that that is something that Christians can definitely unite around, because this is something that Jesus supported, right?
Yes.
Jesus wanted us to welcome the stranger into our houses, right? And I feel like if we can get folks like the Christian folks to agree on that, like, this is what Jesus would want us to do. Jesus would want us to pay attention. Jesus would not want us to put a sign saying, don't come in my yard.
Yes.
Jesus would at least want us to listen, right? So for me, the whole immigration is more of like an exercise of the faith that I don't practice. I'm not the best Catholic girl. I don't show up at church. I don't show up at church every Sunday. But what I try to do is, like, my life, like the way I practice my life is in the way I hope God would want me to, right? And so I'm hoping that the more that we can unite around whatever gives us common ground, whether it's our humanity, whether it's our Christianity, our Judeo-Christian roots, or just being a global citizen, we can come around the table and say, these are people who are running from extremely dangerous situations. These are not people
Absolutely.
who are trying to take what is ours.
Yes.
It's not an invasion. They don't want to take, they don't want to steal. They want to work. They want to be a part. And we should listen and give them safety. And that's what
Absolutely.
I'm trying to do.
Can you take us on a journey? Tell us from where it starts. You have someone in danger and they want to be able to be safe. They want to come in this country. Can you take us on that journey of that person that you work with, where they started and then where they landed with you?
I'm going to censor it a little bit because a lot of it's really hard to digest.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a very sanitized version because I'm guessing that this is a family show.
Okay.
Okay. So
It's after dark. It's after dark.
It is after dark. It is
It's
after dark.
dark.
Well, so the families that I work for mostly come from El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and Venezuela.
Yes.
So what happens is typically I help a lot of women who suffer from domestic violence. And in Central America, the laws to protect women against domestic violence just really don't work. And I have a generic story that I will hear is that a woman will get beaten half to death by her husband and she'll leave.
Yes.
And her husband will go find her wherever she is and drag her back. And then her child will start to see her getting hurt. And her child might be getting hurt himself. And to keep her child and herself safe from danger, maybe she goes away to a different relative. But then her husband goes and threatens that relative and says, if you give this woman shelter, I will hurt you. So this woman has gone to more than one relative. She's gone to the police. The police have told her to go back to her husband. Or maybe I've heard this. She went to go report her husband and she found her husband got to the police station before her and bought all the police a case of beer.
Oh,
and the police were drinking with her husband. And wanting to keep her family safe, wanting to keep her son safe, not wanting her son to grow up in this level of violence, she decides to come to the United States because maybe she has a sister here, an uncle here, an aunt here, and she's hoping that that her abuser won't follow her up into the United States.
yes.
So she makes the trek on up through Guatemala, through Mexico. Maybe in Mexico she gets taken by immigration forces in Mexico who don't tell her that she can apply for asylum. Maybe her group pays basically a bribe or a ransom to get her out.
Wow.
Maybe along the way she's kidnapped by a cartel and held for ransom. That's a very unfortunate situation that happens way too much.
Yes.
And then she finally gets to the border, and if she is able to express herself adequately, if she can find words after going through that, because she has walked, she has been hungry, she has been thirsty, she has had to watch her child be hungry and thirsty and scared.
Yes.
Maybe if by the time she gets to the border, she can find the words to express herself, she can go on. But right now, when she gets to the border, because this is the end of May of 2023, when she gets to the border, she has to try to get an appointment with immigration. And so every morning she's going to wake up and go onto her phone. She's going to go onto a phone that someone gave her before she left, and she's going to try her best to get one of those spots for one of those appointments so she can tell her story to immigration. And every day she wakes up and she tries, and she keeps hitting refresh, and the appointments are gone. And now she has to make a decision. Well, do I keep going on? Do I go through the Rio Grande and get caught on the other side and get punished for doing that by maybe being prosecuted, by maybe being ineligible for the asylum because I broke these rules that the Biden administration has put into play? Or do I remain here in Mexico where I have nothing? I'm living in a shelter and I'm just going to keep hitting refresh on my phone every morning into perpetuity. What do I do? So that is probably the story that there are probably several women who are waiting somewhere in Mexico right now who have the same or similar story to what I have just described.
Wow.
Can you describe what happens at that border? Now, we know that Title 42 just went by the way of Sandusky. But while people waited for their chance to come to the country, what conditions were there?
Well, it varies, but it's definitely not a Hilton. That's for sure. I mean, they're basically in camps. Some people are on the street. Some people are in safer situations than others. But most of the clients whom I serve, who have come through Mexico, who went through the Wait in Mexico program when that existed, were robbed, were beaten, were hurt. Like I don't think I have a single client who had to wait in Mexico who wasn't a victim of some sort of crime in Mexico. So it's just a very dangerous and unsafe place. And you've got to think Mexico's having a hard time keeping up with this too.
Yes.
So the religious leaders and the communities are trying as best as they can to help, but there's too much, and that's because so many countries, Haiti, Venezuela, to some extent El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras are in such trouble right now. And Afghanistan, people are coming in from Afghanistan and from Ukraine through the southern border. And it's such a crisis. It's just very hard for everybody to hold on because there's just so many people who want the opportunity to live in safety.
Absolutely.
As I begin to watch TV and I'll be seeing the border and how things are going up at the wall, after 42 had diminished and they done turned it all around, are they sending the people back to their countries, and how they're transporting the people back to their countries?
Well, honestly, as of what's going on today, right now, I'm not the best person to answer that question because I don't have any direct information about that.
Okay.
Typically, in the past, what would happen is they would just pop you right back. Like if they caught you on the border, they'd pop you right back to Mexico, and not all the way back. Like if you were from Honduras and you got caught right at the border, you wouldn't get sent all the way back to Honduras. You just get sent back to Mexico. I mean, it would, people who are like formally deported and are, sent back to countries that are not Mexico, that usually happens, I think, inside the United States. But I definitely encourage you to get better information about that. I am definitely not the best person to ask about what the process is today, because that's also a very moving target.
As I began to think about these folks over there, what can the religious leaders do to help support those people over in Honduras, or coming from Honduras, Salvador, Afghanistan? What can all the religious, or what can people do to help support them?
Well, that is a fabulous, fabulous question. The first thing I would say is to spread that message to your congregation, not just yourself, but get your congregations behind it as well, to help your congregations understand that Christian roots are in this, right? And then for the people who have already made it to the inside of the United States, they don't have driver's licenses. So if they have appointments to check in with ICE or to check in with a pretrial services supporting agency of some kind, or they have to go to an appointment with ICE or an appointment to see a lawyer, then it would be very, very helpful to give them a ride, because there are a lot of folks. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope you don't hear that.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm
That's
trying to
fine.
hide. I'm trying the
That's
best I
okay.
can to
That's
hide.
okay.
I really am.
We know
That's
you
great.
well for it.
But
That's
I
great.
think the one thing that you could do is offer to give folks a ride, because they will need rides, okay? They will be coming into the United States, and they will have appointments to go to interviews with the asylum office, or they'll have to go to immigration court. The immigration court for Virginia, there are two. One is in Annandale, one is in Sterling, and those are very far away from the 757. So immigrants
Wow.
in your area might need a ride, okay? They
Yes.
might need a safe, reliable ride. That is a huge way to help. Another huge way to help is by helping them enroll their children in school.
Yes.
A lot of them, because of a language barrier, just don't even, a lot of them don't understand that, yeah, even though you're not from here, you can enroll your child in school. Plessy versus Ferguson says that, yes, even immigrant children, undocumented children need to go to school. You can encourage the parents to get them to school, help them facilitate that. And of course, you can give them referrals to your food banks and to any other assistance that you would provide any other community member.
You know,
Okay.
Alina, a lot of people when they let's say they come in here, they don't speak the language, but you know, there's that translator that comes on our cell phones that we get to help translate the information. But here's a lot of things that we are experiencing here in the 757, or maybe all over the world, is that they don't have shot records and they don't have identification. And they don't have the legal part where when they come to their shots, they got a religious with a religious deficit. They don't come on because of their religion, but they don't have the paperwork. Where do the people get the paperwork from to get all that information that is well needed?
Okay, so some folks have copies of their IDs on their phones. Like, they don't have an actual passport, but they have a picture of their passport. They don't have their child's birth certificate, but they have a picture of their child's birth certificate on their phone. So helping people print that out would be really, really useful.
Okay.
There are also consulates around the Washington, D.C. area. For Venezuela, that really doesn't work, but for Afghanistan, that really doesn't work. But a lot of times, even if the immigrants themselves don't have pictures of these documents, sometimes relatives back home have access to them and can forward them on. So just helping them have access to a printer, helping them have access to a notary is really helpful.
Yes. Alina,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes just like, you know, they might have to give their passport up to a border official. So making a copy of that passport and having that copy notarized as an official copy, helpful. Okay.
Yes. How does the unfortunate become the fortunate? What do they go through? Do they have an application? How do they end up the doors opening for them?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to ask the pastor that, because that's something I've always wondered, is how does God choose who's going to be the fortunate and who's not? But on a more mechanical level, I'm going to say that the answer to that is hold on, I think that's my flight that just got bumped to tomorrow.
Oh my. Well, go ahead.
That would be bad. Well, hold on. I'm going to answer that question, because this is really important. Because if it is bumped to tomorrow, then I'm not going anywhere in Amazon. So, all right. So they fill out an application for asylum. This is if they've gotten through all the things that they have to get through to get into the United States. They've passed their credible fear interview. Now they can apply for asylum. And what is the most important thing to understand with regard to asylum is it's not what happened to you that's important as much as why it happened to you. Okay. So they have to fill out this I-589 application for asylum and go get their fingerprints and then present their case to a judge. And then the immigration judge will decide whether or not they're going to be given the privilege to stay in the United States or not. And one thing that their communities can do for them is pray, because just like everything, so much in this world depends upon whose desk you land on. And you can land on the desk of a reasonable person and a reasonable judge, or a not so reasonable person. So
Yes,
pray.
absolutely.
You know, Alina, I am so concerned about the people over there at the border. You know, because I see them living in makeshift tents, makeshift homes, and
Mhm.
and and I was concerned about their health. And do they examine, give them physicals once they get from out by the border? When they bring them into the fenced-in area, you know, they got a cage that they normally put them
Mhm.
in, and they put them under this isolation blanket. Do they give them physical? Do they check them out to make sure that they don't have any viruses or any diseases, or they just take them as they are? They don't give them baths, or what do they do? What
Well,
conditions?
so when COVID was still going on, before Title 42 ended, we were giving people COVID tests.
Okay.
But I don't know, honestly, I don't. The thing is we were supposed to, but there's always a difference between what's supposed to happen and what really does happen, right?
Yes.
Um, I For the unaccompanied children do see a doctor
Okay.
or a nurse practitioner. They see the unaccompanied children see some sort of medical professional, but the adults, unless there's something wrong, they don't.
Yes.
When you talk about the unaccomplished children, is these families people who has allowed their children to travel over to the border and to get across the border with someone else, or are they just traveling alone? These babies.
Both. I have met both. I have met both. I have met absolute, like, unaccompanied, like I have met a 15-year-old running from the unconscionable,
Wow.
running into nothing.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of them are children who are coming to meet their parents, but a lot of them aren't.
Yes.
A lot of
Yeah.
them are babies who need
Yes.
our help.
Alina, why do you have to assist them as an attorney? How do they get to you? Why do they need an attorney?
Well, for some of them, it's language. Um, and I think part of the reason, I'm going to backtrack. Here's
Okay.
the thing: most people don't have enough money for an attorney, and there are not enough pro bono and nonprofit attorneys around. There just aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if someone has the resources or family resources to get an attorney, great, because that attorney can fill out an application and take someone's story and frame it in a way to present it to the judge so that it has a chance to win. Because it's like what I do is I take someone's story and then I take the law and I try to make them connect.
Yes.
And if I know that they can't connect, then there's nothing I can do and I don't take it. But part of what I do as a lawyer is I listen to their story and then I think, okay, well, this is where the law helps. This is what the law says can protect them. Okay, these things that they said happened, we have protection from that, but not from the other things.
Yes.
So that's what an attorney can do. But some people don't have money. Most people don't have enough money to do it. And they just need to know that when you're filling out an asylum application, again, this is not my legal advice. I am not giving legal advice. I have to say that on a radio show. This is not legal advice. I am just telling you what the law says. The law says that in order to win asylum, you have to be persecuted on account of a specific reason, like your political opinion or your membership in a particular social group or your race or your religion. You can't just be a simple victim of crime. You have to connect what happened to you with a protected ground on the list.
Well, how would folks get that list? How would folks know what to do and what grounds are on that list? So they won't just be running and running and running and running and running and running and can't get in.
Well, that's a really, really good point. That is a really, really good point. There are only 5 grounds for asylum, and the 5 grounds are race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. But the thing is that membership in a particular social group, that's something that can vary. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can, what is a particular social group? Well, that's something that your lawyer will help you with.
Wow, yes. I wanted to know how come a lot of people, well, people that I talk to, only feel like immigrants are coming from Mexico. When you were naming the other countries, it was like, wow, people are coming from all over the world. But we always hear like, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. That's who's trying to get over here.
Well, I guess because technically speaking, they are literally coming from Mexico because that's the country that's pertinent to the southern border. Like,
Wow.
we share a border with Mexico. So yes,
Yes.
they are physically coming in through Mexico, but they're not all Mexican. In fact,
Wow.
most of them are not.
Amazing.
You're saying that folks that come from Afghanistan, they all run to Mexico and then to the southern border?
Well, no. So a lot of folks who were not able to get out in the primary evacuation and who were stuck.
Yes.
One of the ways that they are coming, if they have not been able to secure visas, is through Brazil, and then from Brazil on up through Colombia, then Panama, Panama, Costa Rica, on up through.
Yes.
So
Wow.
it sounds like people might think that everybody's coming from Mexico, but that's just like, I'm coming back to Virginia through Atlanta.
Yes.
It's just a stopping point.
Absolutely. This is not for the faint of heart. Those that are looking for asylum, they are really trying to really get to a place. I mean, it seems like for miles and miles and miles away. Do you feel as though people are, like Mr. E was saying, only in it, for, not understanding how you can get in? You said there are only 5 things that can get you in. But
Yep.
taking a journey like that, somebody is really desperate and determined. Does that
Yes.
count for anything? Determination.
Well, I mean, just think about like if you're in your house right now and you have to just imagine leaving everything in your house behind except what you can carry in a small backpack,
Wow.
and knowing that you will never have or see any of that again. Think about the people that you love in your community, in your home, and your family. Think of probably not being, particularly the elderly ones.
Yes.
You're never going to see them again.
Wow.
Lena, I hear your cry. I hear your cry. But what gives you that drive to say, I want to be a rescue? I want to help. I want to be a part. I really want to help those immigrants, those who come across the border. I really want to reach out and help them. What gives you that drive?
Well, when I started doing it, I heard some things that were just very, very difficult to hear. That, I heard some evil that people do to each other, which was just very difficult to digest. And I just felt like if I did nothing, I would have been complacent.
Yeah. Yes. Can you tell us of any success stories when immigrants do come
sure.
over?
Sure.
How do they fare?
Well, I have been able to win asylum for several young women who are
yes,
survivors of absolutely horrific violence, but who are going to make great additions to our community. And that's just another thing that when you just see the relief, like you don't even realize, like I don't think some of my clients realize the burden that they're carrying until it's taken away from them and the judge says you're safe.
Wow. That's amazing.
Trafficking, we hear a lot about trafficking.
It's a thing.
You know,
Mhm.
we hear a lot about people being put in boats and put in trains and being trafficking and
Mhm.
being tricked that said they're
Hmm.
gonna get an asylum, they're gonna take them to the United States, and but they, you know, they find out they done been tricked, they done been hoodwinked,
Hmm.
and now they're crying, they're heartbroken, and they come to Elena and say, "Listen, attorney, I was told that if I get on this train or get on this boat or get in this trailer, that I would be on my way to the USA, and they're taking every dime, every quarter that was given to them, and they got nothing." Do they give stories like that?
I do. I help a lot of human trafficking victims. I've had a lot of them.
Mhm.
Typically, what that story looks like is a trick, and
Mm.
then some sort of debt bondage, wherein a person is brought over, but then when they're brought over, there's a debt hanging over them that they didn't expect,
Wow.
like something that they didn't bargain for, and then there is some sort of threat of violence
Mm.
to there's some sort of threat of violence in order to get that debt repaid. So,
Absolutely.
oh, you thought I was bringing you over for $1,000. I'm bringing you over for $5,000, and you
Wow.
can work that off at my brother's restaurant,
Oh, wow.
and my brother won't pay you because you're going to be working off the debt that you owe me. And if you don't do that, I know where your mother lives in Honduras.
Amazing.
Wow. Wow.
That
Yeah,
is a very that happens often.
a lot. Are there a lot of illegal immigrants? So you have numbers of illegal immigrants in the country?
Well, in my mind, there are no illegal immigrants in the United States because a
Ooh,
person cannot be illegal. A
ooh,
human
tell me.
being, a human life is never illegal because God gave us that life, right? So
Oh, my.
life that God gave us is never illegal. But I can tell you that there are undocumented people, lots of
Yeah.
Undocumented.
Okay.
undocumented people, but not
Yes.
but no life that God has given us is illegal.
Oh, that is
That is
good.
that is that is that is those are the words that I live by.
Oh, I love that.
Um, and as far as how many undocumented people are in the United States right now, honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you because those numbers are constantly changing, and it's very difficult
Yeah.
to give you an accurate number. And anyone who says they have an accurate number,
Don't. They don't have
I
it.
don't think I. It always has to be with an asterisk because we could tell you how many people have been apprehended at the border, and I
Yes.
can tell you that recently, since Title 42 has been lifted, it has been down, not up.
Yes.
The numbers of border apprehensions have gone down. Okay,
Yes.
um, but as far as how many undocumented people are living in the United States, I couldn't tell you, but there are, particularly in the Hampton Roads area,
Mhm.
many thousands would be my
Wow.
best guess. Many thousands
Yes. That word
just in that
asylum.
area.
That word
Hmm.
asylum. It's different than being naturalized.
Hmm.
The process of being naturalized. Can you give us a little bit about how that works?
Sure. So after a person is granted asylum, they can obtain their permanent residency in a year after that. A year after they are given asylum, then they have to wait before they are able to naturalize. They have to wait 5 years.
Wow.
Um, so there's a waiting period, you know. Got to
Yes.
make sure, there's a waiting period, and then they can become citizens of the United States.
Where do
Um,
they wait at? What do they wait here in the USA?
Yes, they wait here in
Okay.
the United States. So after they're granted asylum, they're given, they're able to live here and work in the United States, and then they get their green cards. They have to apply. It doesn't like just fall from the sky like manna, right? Like they have to go and apply, right? They go
yes.
apply for their green cards, and then once they have their green cards, then they're on their pathway to citizenship.
Wow.
Wow.
But they
I
have to
mean,
take the
yes.
citizenship test and
Yes.
be able to speak English and all of those things before they can become a full citizen of the United States, even if they are granted asylum.
Mhm.
Do you ever fear for your life being an attorney, reaching out to help folks? Do you ever fear for your life?
No, I never have. Well, not doing this. No, I was a public
Mhm.
defender for a while, and there were
Yeah.
some people. Being a public defender was different. That was different. But I feel like being an asylum lawyer, being an immigration lawyer, is being a public defender. It's just a different group of people, just a
Yeah.
different group of folks. Um, no, I did during the Trump administration when things were going really haywire, and um, they prosecuted a man who was leaving water on
Mm.
the board, who was leaving water in the desert so people wouldn't die,
Wow.
and that scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I did have a go bag. I just had a bag that had my essentials in it, like, the essential medications, my
Yeah.
passport, a change of clean clothes, and a jacket,
Yes.
in case I needed to go spontaneously spend time with my sister who lives in England. Um, but uh, I don't feel that way right now.
Wow. Your organization that you work for, can you give us a little bit of information about it and how people can reach out to find more about immigration and what you do?
Well, I work for the legal aid. Well, I work for right now the Legal Aid Justice Center of Virginia. We help a lot of people in a lot of different areas, but I work for the Immigration Justice Program, and I also, through the Immigrant Justice Program, work as a instructor at the University of Virginia, where I instruct the University of Virginia Immigration Clinic at their School of Law, which is fantastic. The clinic does take occasional cases for asylum, and I help the students. I help the students who basically are able to take the cases and help the immigrants apply for and achieve asylum. And this past year, the UVA clinic was able to do that for two people, from one from El Salvador and one from Honduras.
El
Excellent.
Salvador, I got great neighbors that lives in my community. They are the greatest people in the world. You
Wow.
know, uh, El Salvador, those folks from over in Honduras, they're the great people. They're very helpful. They're family
Mhm.
orientated. That they don't mind helping one another out. You know, they don't mind working to help their community. So
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I think that the community, all the community should reach out to, to those who are trying to get into the United States, but and help them to get legalized so they can go further.
Do they have a adopt a family type thing? People can help families, Alina.
Well, yeah, that would be a great thing. That would be a great thing for some churches to do, is to
Mhm.
help families with food, help families with rides, help families get their kids into the appropriate schools.
Yes.
Um, these folks are not looking for a handout.
Mhm.
They're here trying to work, and
Yes.
these are folks that have, just a work ethic that is so admirable.
Wow.
I mean, I needed to move my office, and like my clients showed up and like were like helping me move. I'm just like, guys,
Yes.
thank you. Like, I mean,
Wow.
um it's very
Mhm.
hard for me to articulate sitting here on the floor of an airport,
Yeah.
um the kinds of people and the warmth and the joy and the hope. And it's just so strange. I've noticed one thing, and that is that the people who have been through the most unconscionable horrors, who have experienced the most evil and
Mhm.
suffered as a result of greed, have the
Yeah.
strongest faith.
Wow.
Have the strongest faith. And I look at him like, how can you have so much faith after such and such happened to you, such and such happened to you, such and such happened to you? But they are not only the most community driven, but the most faithful people
Wow.
I have ever met.
That is absolutely marvelous. Elena, thank you so much for being on. You teach us well. I mean, there's so many questions that we have, and so many. answers that we're thankful for. And we're going to continue to follow you in this journey and find out, what we can do to help and how we can continue to let folk like you come on to our
Yeah,
platform
yeah.
and share and teach us more about immigration.
Well, I'm just so grateful for you for listening, and I'm so sorry that I had to do this on the floor of
Oh,
an airport in
oh,
Atlanta.
you sound good. You're coming in clear. And we just want to say thank you again so
Well,
much for
thank you
doing
for
that.
having me, and thank you so much for your interest in this incredibly important topic. And I wish you guys a very blessed Monday afternoon
Thank
Thank
or
you so
you.
evening.
much.
Be
Thank you
safe.
Thank
for
you.
reaching
Have a
Thank
out.
you.
wonderful trip.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Wow.
Wow. I tell you what, boy,
Wow.
she's giving us information that I didn't know. I love the idea that she has a heart for the people. It's not just a job.
That's right.
And she's in it to really, really, really make a difference. As hard as it is, because she said it's a thing where it never gets any better. It's still, a whole lot of chaos, a whole lot of problems and things surrounding immigration and people getting asylum, but she's still in it to win it and win it for others as well. So we want to thank our special guest, Miss Alina Kilpatrick. She's from Richmond, Virginia. She's an immigration attorney and she's doing a fabulous job. I'm glad she took her time to be with us and share and teach us about immigration.
And Miss Hinton, when they bring that great information to us, there are a lot of folks who are listening to us need to know that, because I didn't know about 42. I didn't know it was a
Yes.
virus. I didn't know it was sickness, but I've learned a lot and my heart is full now. And, because I see it on TV, we see it on TV, but now through her, I have experienced it firsthand because now she gets down to the real nitty gritty to let everybody know that the hearts of the people and how the people are doing. But when you hear President Trump allegedly, when you hear the ex-president Donald Trump talking about putting a wall up and the way
Yes.
he said, it's so hardcore. It's so hardcore because these are folks who's trying to get some help. They're
Yes.
tired of living in conditions that they're living in. They're tired of having to pay somebody else more than what they're raking in and what they're bringing in. They're losing their babies and their children by the sword, by a lot, and the children cannot deal with, cannot tolerate, and coming over to the United States. I want to say good afternoon to Mr. Chris Hinton, Ms. Jewel Carproof. Thank you all for tuning in to the most talked about. My heart is full. I mean, if there is a way, but I wanted to ask her, is there a way that we could send stuff to the border? They would never get it.
They would never get it from
you. But because it only stops at the border, and that's the ball game.
Absolutely. Want to say good evening to James Overton. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, there are still so many questions, still so many things, circumstances. You talked about trafficking. We talked about, what the conditions are there at the border. When I hear her talk about the journey, from other countries, not just Mexico, some of these people have to be really desperate to get out because most people want to live in their own country. They want to be with their own people. They want to be with their family. But there are so many diverse circumstances that cause people to want to get out by any means necessary. And the thing about it, they fall victims. They're victims in their country. Then trying to get over, they can fall victim to circumstances. Then they can fall victim over in this country. It's just an ongoing cycle of defeat. And we pray. I heard her faith, and I heard wherein it's you got to really pray because the conditions are not just as easy as looking and watching people come to a border. There's a reason, and there are some tremendous things that are going on in order for folk to want asylum in a country.
And I think that what we need to do is like she was saying, apply your faith. Pray for those folks that's on the edge of the border.
Mhm.
Pray for those folks that are leaving from different places. I did not know that folks can leave Afghanistan and come through Mexico to get
Yes.
to the border. I did not know that there's different Puerto Ricans and that are coming to the border. There are Hades and all the South American people that's over in that area. All they wants to do is get across the border, and we see people by the scores. We see people jumping over fences. We see people
Yes.
traveling at night. We see groups of them piling into cars, just trying to get over. We see people that that they're hiding under haze and bales of hay, just
Yes.
trying to get over into the land where flowing. What we call flowing with milk and honey. They're
Absolutely.
trying to get here. Their children, they're packing it down. And my heart goes out for them.
Absolutely. She gave us a scenario. She said, what if, we were displaced? What if, it would come a time where we had to flee our homes and we couldn't take anything. And, America, we are, spoiled people. We have everything. And can you imagine having to run and hide and duck and be, hoodwinked and, just so many things happening. We can't really even fathom that thought. And so we have to be thankful and we have to pray for people, for others, because they're living in circumstances that we've never seen. And
That's right.
so we definitely have to pray for everyone. Pray for, she said, the undocumented. She said no illegals, undocumented, those that are looking for asylum, those immigrants that need to get out and be safe, and those that have been hurt and tortured and tormented, and they never make it, to safety. So we will visit this topic again. And we just thank God that we can bring this information to many. And
yes. And not only that, Ms. Hinton, our community need to know this. I believe when we bring information like this to the community, that helps our community, because a lot of us see it on TV and don't really have a clue of what they're going through, because they look at them and they look at them from afar. But when you look at them and now you understand the life that they're living, what they're going through, and you tell the Lord, thank you for your conditions. When I look at the homeless folks now that we see on our streets daily, when I look at those folks and I think about those folks who are trying to get here, who trying to, sometimes I say them homeless folks that we see standing up at the curb, standing up on the corner, they're well off than those folks who are trying to get in here. I think that those folks who are trying to get here, and once they get here and they see what homeless folks is, and they're thankful and saying to themselves, hey, look, from where I came from, hey, you are a millionaire standing up here with your shopping cart full and things of that nature,
Absolutely. So thank you all for joining us. We want to remind you again that we're on our FYI radio morning show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. We're on 95.3 FM on WGPL 1350 AM, WPCE 1400. Now we're on 88.9 WMVA. What a wonderful accomplishment. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Make sure you continue to follow us. Make sure you share our videos and content. Make sure you subscribe. Please go to YouTube and subscribe at Cristo Records 1. That's CRISTO Records, RECORDS 1. Subscribe. You'll see all of our content right there. And we would love for you all to just go through them, listen to them, and let people know about FYI. Also on Monday, coming up on FYI After Dark, Mr. E, who is our guest.
That's our guest will be Monday evening. This Monday will be nobody. We wouldn't have a guest this Monday because it's Memorial Day.
Yes.
But you can rest assured that we got some great guests coming your way. You know, the election is right around the corner.
Yes.
And so, you know, on the 5th of June, when we come back on, that will be our Senator Lionel Spruill. Lionel Spruill is running in the Chesapeake area. And those who are out there in Chesapeake, you know,
Yes.
if you go out there, he's running against one of the hardest person who has a great motive. I want to tell you.
And a great following.
And a great following. That's Miss Louise Lucas.
Yes.
Miss Louise Lucas is not running for the position. She's running for seniority. You know, let me tell you what I mean by that. Lionel Spruill is number 30 on the Senate seat. Louise Lucas is number 3.
Okay.
She'd be the first African-American woman to be in position to be the number 1 speaker in the House. The first African-American woman from the 757 and around the world to be in the House with seniority, you know, top of the game. So that's what she's running. She's figured that the people is trying to bump her out by using Lionel Spruill, you know, to get her out of position, you know. So she's really really looking to make history. That's what it is, to make history.
Well, I tell you what, we are going to join June the 5th. Our special guest, Senator Lionel Spruill. We're going to hear all about the competition election and see where he's coming from, some of the issues that he believes in, what's on the ballot, and why he's doing what he's doing. He's been in it for a minute, and we just want to say congratulations to him.
Don't forget to tell him about the 12. I cannot hold it in. You really got to tell these folks about the 12th. The 12th. The 12th. The 12th. The 12th.
The 12th, we have a collection, a panel of wonderful ladies, some single, maybe some of them may be married or in a relationship, but they're going to join us. We're going to talk about what women want, what women desire. We're going to talk about relationship. And, you know, women are very sociable and they are very linguistic. They love to talk. And so we're going to have questions from them. We're going to have questions to them from our audience and from ourselves. And we're going to have a great, great dialogue. I can't wait. We've had the young men on the week before, and they had a great dialogue. Talking about what men desire, what men want. And so we're hopefully, by the time we talk to our women, then our next segment, we're going to be talking to both sexes. And we're going to see if men are from Mars and women are from Venus. We're going to see how the two mesh. And we're going to really tell them no holds bar, you know, the things that you feel and want to talk about, let's talk about.
Then I'll be able to get my question answered. For years, I've been wanting to ask this question. Why do women hide things in the house, wait till they get hide it in the closet, wait till Doc come in before they sneak it in the house? Is that a true statement or is that just a myth?
It might have been a true statement back in the day, and it may be true a little bit now, but I really believe that since women are bosses, they have great jobs and positions. There's no need to be sneaking because you got the coins. You know, your significant other may have the coins, but you definitely working hard. I know a lot of women that are working hard, working smart, have plenty of money, and don't feel the need to hide nothing to come in there. But we'll find out. It could be a few out there, Mr. E, that, you know, still going down old school road.
And, you know,
we'll see.
And that's what it's all about. There are so many things that we need to know about from a woman's perspective. Are we still in the old school? Are we still in new school? Are we supposed to be individuals, especially if we say we're husband and wives? Are we supposed to respect? Are we supposed to disrespect? Are we supposed to take the mindset and say, it's my thing. I do whatever I want to do. Nobody can tell me. I don't have to respect nobody, but just do my own thing.
Absolutely. Also want to remind you all about our sponsors. Let's get them up here. We have, let's see, who do we have? We have Crystal Records. You all go to www.crystalrecords.com, www.crystalrecords.com. You can find the ladies' music. You can buy it right there from the website. You can also get the book. Bullying is right underneath your nose. You get that link, go to it. That book is in Spanish and English. Download it. You'll see Amazon links, and you could just Google it if you want to. Yolanda Hinton, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose, and get it. Get it in Audible, and you can get hard copy. Just inbox me for the hard copy. You can buy a hard copy, but other than that, you can go online and get it through various platforms. You can get it ebook, and you can get the Audible as well. Also, and then you'll see, FYI and a few other things. We're going to be we're going to continue to build that platform, that website, but you'll see some things that we're doing, the nonprofit organization. As a matter of fact, Young Women Achieving Success, we are still on the move, pulling in young ladies. So excited about it. This Wednesday is paint night. Oh my goodness. And so this is a new experience for most of the girls. And we have a facilitator coming in, and we're going to just enjoy them as they learn, the technique of painting and doing wonderful pictures. Last week we did jewelry making. And so it's a great program for your girls 11 to 17 years old. We ask that you inbox me, or you can call 757-287-6792, or email Crystal Community, that's CRISTO, community@cox.net. Let's also welcome Beard Gods. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Chris Hinton is on the with us, and we want to say good evening to him. Beard Gods is a wonderful new business created and founded by Chris Hinton. You can reach out to his website, www.beardgods, that's BEARDGODZ. You got that beard, that hair, whatever, goatee or whatever. He has a line of products that is going to make you look good, feel good, refresh. Keep that beard all groomed, shiny, and clean. He tells you how to, take care of the skin and the hair that surrounds that skin. He's going to tell you so many things. He also has other merchandise. He has the vitamins, biotin vitamins. He has merchandise. He has the hat. He has the hoodies. He has the pick. He has it all. You all make sure you visit www.Beard Gods, that's Gods with a Z, Godz, beardgods.com, one of our sponsors. So we are excited. The book Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose. Don't forget to go online, crystalrecords.com, or go anywhere where books are sold. Get the book, English, Spanish, hard copy, ebook, Audible. And don't forget, we're going to be launching this, the Ladies Pie, the Royal Ladies Pie. We got some great things coming up. We'll be launching it soon. We'll give you information on that. And don't forget, we're back. FYI Radio Show will be on tomorrow, Mr. E. Tell them about our new platform.
Not tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be on FYI will be on Wednesday. Listen to today, when you left today, we were so busy trying. We got caught up all day long, has been wiring, and I'm not a technician. I'm not electronic. I've been underneath the desk. I've been off, I've been right there in the studio, working, trying to make Barrett boxes speak.
Yes.
To one another. Well, today we did a lot of accomplishments, and tomorrow it's going to be off the chain. Today we heard 88.9 right here in the 757. Wow. Well, it was just a low power. It done went from going 20 miles. Now it's over on this side of the town, 757. Oh, wow. It's in Hampton. It's in Newport News. So it's being bled over.
Yes.
By another radio station. So when you get an opportunity, you got a rapper in there, you got WTJZ, they're bleeding on us, and
Yes.
until we get it up to the power that we want. I never seen so many wires in my life. I never did this. I'm not a technician. I've been in the office, not here doing work of what I supposed to be doing, but I've been in the studio.
Yes.
Been in the studio running lines and making sure everything is working properly. So when Wednesday come around, because tomorrow our team is going down to Accomack County, and our team is going down to find and bug shoot, troubleshoot, and to see why. Because every time we win it up, we send the power up to 50,000 watt, it shuts off. So we got to find out what's going on. Is there a wire loose? Because the thing that we have been doing for this station, and Miss Hinton, right off the back, that we have put 95.3 together. We have, we have not used any folks who know the job. I mean, we hands on and work
Yes.
the station. So, we want to make sure that you get the best sound and get the best information. Now, 88.9 is an educational station, and that's what FYI is all about.
Yes.
We're an educational station where we bring you nothing but the very best. We bring you political, we bring you sports, we bring you integration, we bring you this, and we bring you that. We bring you the ladies' pie, the Royal Ladies' Pie. We bring you Beer God, where they teach you how to groom and grow your beard. We also bring you information on how to get your finances in order. That's a teaching moment. And that's what we're doing here at FYI. We bring you up to speed because we want to make sure that you rise above mere survival. We just don't want you falling through the crack. We want you to be able to understand, just like immigration, we want you to be able to understand what's going on so you can be familiar with what's happening around the world.
Absolutely. FYI, for your information, anything that we can bring, we will bring. Special guests, all kind of segments. We also serve a little bit of tea, talking about what's happening, current events, and breaking news, trending topics, and things like that. Sports talk, what's under the hat, issues concerning men, what's in your closet, issues concerning ladies, you name it, we bought it. Politics. We just talk about so many things, and we really enjoy our segments and those that have come on. And you can be a special guest sponsor and intern with FYI too.
And I just want to let our listening audience know, Ms. Hinton, that we've been doing this for 7 years. We've been this FYI. A lot of people look at FYI and they're looking at us now. We are live.
Yes.
We are a live radio show. We are a live radio show and on 4 platforms. Listen to me. We're on 88.9, WGPL 1350, WPCE 1400, 95.3 FM, live radio station. That's 4. We on LinkedIn, we on Facebook, we on Instagram, we on all social media platforms. So that's another 8 platforms that we're on. That's not including that you can hear us on the World Wide Web. That's here in Iraq and Iran. All over the world. By going to 1400 AM or WGPL 1350 AM or ChristianBroadcastingCompany.com, click and listen live. Not only that, you can link with us. So we got the market sold up. I mean, the Lord has given Miss Hinton this vision to carry all these babies, these projects that are in her hand to bless the people. And we've been in it to win it. We have not been in it to get in a conversation for it. We've been in it to bring you nothing but the very best.
Well, we definitely have, and we're moving forward. You all can be a special guest sponsor or intern with FYI Radio Show. Mr. E, give them the tea.
And if you'd like to be a special guest or a sponsor of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton Facebook page or FYI Facebook page. Or you can go to FYI, our email, fyiradioshowlive@gmail.com and inbox us. If you would love to be a special guest, send us your email. If you want to be on the panel, send us your email. And what we'll do in the meantime, we'll text you. We'll send you a text message back or letter back or information back on your email to let you know, are you available on this date, so we can pull you in on so many topics that we have. Listen, ladies, you gotta get ready for the 12th of June. You gotta get ready, because guess what? It's your time to tell the whole world what you want.
Absolutely. So you all be blessed. Have a wonderful evening. Look, we did sports talk today. It was a great
Well,
show. Tonight, Mr. E, just tell them, because I know you're getting ready to go, and I'm going to look at it as well. But tell us who's playing tonight.
Well, tonight, and some of y'all may not like it tonight, but Denver and the Lakers are playing tonight.
Yes.
You know, Miss Hinton, as I begin to look at it today, I've been listening to a lot of folk. I put a email, not an email, but a picture out on Facebook, which somebody sent to me today, and it says the Denver Broncos and the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Hornets are sweeping the floor.
Oh my goodness! What are you trying to say?
Tonight is 3-0 for Lakers. If Denver wins tonight, that's the ball game. The Lakers will be out. They'll be done swept them 4-0. But if the Lakers win tonight, there'll be a 3-1. They'll go back to Denver, and that'll be the ball game. It's the best of 7. I mean, you look like when I was looking at the game, and I don't know about you, Miss Hinton, when I was looking at the Lakers play the day before the other day, they looked like they were shocked to see how Denver has come alive. One guy took the whole Denver Nuggets on his shoulder. Well, 2 guys. Well, 3 guys. That's Morey. That's Joker, and this other cat that I don't know. And see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a basketball fanatic. I love football. And somebody told me to start watching basketball, and then I got into the basketball arena because I like the New England Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans, because of one cat that was there. Well, 2 cats. That was AD and Zion. Zion is a 19-year-old young man who weighs about 200 so many pounds and can slam dunk and ready to play ball. AD is Anthony Davis, who played with the Lakers. He left my boy high and dry. And now, because LeBron James wants to stack the deck and get the best of the best on the Lakers squad. But here's what they're getting ready to do. Miss Hinton, I know you've been watching the game, but have you seen that Caucasian fella by the name of Reese play for the Lakers? What do you think about him?
What I think about the Lakers, first of all,
Reese.
Let me say about the Lakers. First of all, I am into the Lakers. I've been following the Lakers. I'm Twitter pated with the Lakers because they have a brand that has gone down, the line of history. And they have been highly favored and had great stars come from them. I think that the Lakers, I have to say, I like the way they're playing. I just feel as though they could really step up. I think in order to go all the way to the end, Reese and all of them, LeBron's, I think they're going to have to step up. They are playing a team that could actually, wipe them out. And so, Reese, all you guys, get on the ball. Go ahead and start playing. They got the potential. Reese, all of them. They have the potential to be great and to really play hard. But hey, we shall see. We shall see. They may be going home or by the way of Sandusky. We don't know. We have to see. And I'll be looking at it, Mr. E. What time does it come on.
It's getting ready to come on at 8:30. Here's the thing. I think they should never make bad news in the camp.
Tell me.
Just like you saw the coach said for the Boston
Yes,
Celtics.
yes.
And we know when he made that report that he's getting ready to be fired. We know that. But now here's the thing that got me. There were 3 guys on the Lakers. There's Reese, then there's that fellow named Aduka Duka, and then there's another guy. 3 guys that contract runs out. The talk in the league now is they trying to get this other fellow that's been playing from Brooklyn to another team, and they trying to bring him over to the Lakers. Kyrie Irving, they have to trade 3 men for 1 fellow.
Oh, wow.
3 men are ready to get the chopping block. Reese and the second string boys have been playing awesome basketball for the Lakers.
Yes.
Now to hear that in the camp on the last game or the next game that they're going to be traded for 1 cat.
He must be a mighty bad cat.
Kyrie Irving is a great basketball player, and he brings another dimension to the basketball game. And I believe this time, this is what I believe, because LeBron's been in the game for a long time, and that this might be his final final game this week. And because he done broke all the records.
Yes.
He done did everything that he wanted to do. Now he's got his young boys coming up in the rankings. You know, so but tonight I used to be a Laker fan. I used to be a Laker fan because of Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson, and who else? Cooper and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Walton's brother, and because the coach was a great coach. Cooper Luke, James Harden, you name them boys, because James Wilk, they played great finesse basketball. But right now, the Denver Broncos are playing the same style of basketball that the Lakers played in the days of old. When you look at it, they're playing a 2-3. There's 2 men under the bucket, and 3 men out. And see, they've got 1 in the left, and they got 1 on the right. They got one of the men that's under the bucket. That's Joker. Then they got the other man that's under the bucket, who's a 6'2", and then the Lakers have a 7-foot cat. And he's that he has not put out there yet. So I mean, it's 3 games down, and the best man will win. It's not like you say, any team could change now, any team.
Yes.
So I'm gonna rush home tonight and do what I got to do and get ready for that ball game.
Well, we want to congratulate all those that have made it to almost to the end, to the playoffs. And it is very exciting, a great season. And if you all come on Mondays at 9:30 a.m., you'll hear us talk more about sports talk and, what's going on, not just in the NBA, but the WNBA, the NFL, all kind of sports we're into and we report on. So don't forget to join us on Mondays for sports.
Just before we go, Ms. Hinton, I want to take, since we didn't make mention of this on Sports Talk today, Brittany Gaynor, we all know Brittany. She made her first debut in basketball on yesterday.
Wow.
With the Phoenix Suns.
She's back.
And she's back, but she lost.
She lost, but she won because she is not in Russia, honey.
That's right. She's not in Russia.
Playing and doing what she was born to do.
That's right. That's right. So we want to say congratulations to Brittany. Welcome back home. Hey, look, you did a wonderful job. You hit about 25, 30 points last night, and we love you.
All right. Now, look, don't forget to join us on Wednesday. What's Under the Hat? We're going to have a great show. And we want you all to join us, follow us, subscribe, and share, and just talk about FYI Radio Show, hosted by myself, Yolanda Hinton, and co-host Edward Everett, a.k.a. Mr. E. Now, for more information, Mr. E, give them that again.
And for more information about FYI, give us a call at 757-714-7861. Again, that telephone number is 757-714-7861. Or you can go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page, and inbox us there and say, listen, I'd like to be a special guest or sponsor of the Most Talked About Radio Show. Or you can email us at fyiradioshowlive@gmail.com. Again, that's fyiradioshowlive@gmail.com. And guess what? We'll respond back to you ASAP.
Thank you all that join us. Thank you for your support. Be blessed. Have a good evening. Make sure you look at the game. And we'll see you back on Wednesday for FYI Radio Morning Show.
And I might come on tonight after the game. So look, I might pull Miss Hinton in and we might talk a little bit about the game at halftime. So y'all get ready. Get your popcorn, get your peanuts. It's going to be pandemonium.
All right, it's game time. God bless you all.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.